Hello and welcome to the Boys Upstairs show. It's the Week 11 show, NFL.
Woo! Woo!
Yeah, thanks. Sorry, I had a little stutter step there. Guys, it's Week 11 already. We are over halfway through the season. Hope everyone enjoyed their Week 10. We'll get right into gear here. Brian Daboll is gone. Gone, 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 broken, broken, gone, gone, broken, broken. Um, what can I say? The Bears are just breaking teams left and right this year. Comeback kids. Caleb's got ice in his veins. I believe they're calling him the Iceman now. So fire me up there. I was actually self-admittedly on the golf course on football Sunday last week, so I'll wear that one
Yeah.
on the chin. I should
Shame on
never do
you
that
for that.
again.
Shame on you for that.
It was nice because I didn't have to watch the first three quarters of my team losing to Jackson Dart and Brian Daboll. But hey, we came out, we found a way, we pulled through, and Brian Daboll is now unemployed and will be calling plays in the booth in Buffalo next year, and he'll probably gain back 60 pounds that he lost as the head coach in New York. But that's the way this business rolls. It's cutthroat. The Ravens, some are saying they are back. I could have called that last week when I took them as my lock. They took nine, chewed them up, and spit them out. Had two picks, one that was called off, so pretty much three. And basically, they just took care of business up in Minnesota, which hopefully my guys can do this week. And then Bills Dolphins, quick recap on that. Are the Bills ass? Some are
Are the
saying
Patriots back?
I think the Dolphins are just that good.
the Dolphins might just be that good. Mike McDaniel, we're looking at extension territory for him. He's taking his fellas to Germany this week to play the
Yeah.
Commanders. I think that is a real, like, you win that game if you're the Dolphins. It's kind of like, all right, we're cooking here. We're probably not gonna make the playoffs, but like, let's finish this on a high note, kind of gear up, move on. If you go and lose to the Commanders, all that progress you did to wipe away the narratives of the first half of the season is down the shitter and it's over. So, good luck to them. Good luck to McDaniel and the fellas. Washington's obviously broken, so like I said, you can't lose to them.
Dan, quick comment. Is the game in Germany or Spain? Because you said Germany. I thought it was the first game in
Oh, I
Spain.
think you're right. Yeah, I think it's
It's
Madrid.
in Milan. I think it's Milan. Maybe
No,
Madrid.
Milan is Italy.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Madrid. That's what I meant. But real quick, I just pulled this up. The favorites to be the next head coach fired. Number one is surprising to me. It's Raheem Morris at minus 140. And then you've got Pete Carroll at plus 325. Then you've got Jonathan Gannon at plus 350. Then you've got Mike McDaniel at plus 700. And then Stefanski at plus 750. I didn't think that it was that hot of a seat in Atlanta right now. Like, I don't think they came in with crazy expectations, but Jonathan Gannon, I feel should be higher. And I mean, Pete Carroll, it's like, what did you think was going to happen with Gino being your guy, and the roster around him? But I feel like Stefanski, there's not like what is Stefanski supposed to do with this roster? Like, he's won Coach of the Year 5 times, and you thought he was going to be able to turn Joe Flacco slash Shador slash Dylan Gabriel into anything better than what they currently are.
Well, look at the recency of, or like the recent history of Coach of the Year. It is not pretty. A lot of them have been fired.
That
My
is
guy,
true.
my guy
Dayball
Matt Nagy was Coach of the Year in 2018, and he got canned a couple years later. Dayball was a Coach of the Year not too long ago. That's kind of like a wood shop. We talked about that way early on in the season. What the Coach of the Year award is. Um, but yeah, and just confirmation that game is in Madrid. So sorry to the Germans out there. I didn't want to blue ball you guys from having a cool football game this weekend.
They had one. They had one last week.
Yeah, but Spaniards, get ready. I mean, it's all gas over there. We'll move right into it. We got two pretty competitive ones this week. Starting with game one, the Seahawks are taking on the Rams in LA. Rams are 2.5 point favorite, over under 48.5. And both teams, I believe, are sitting at 7-2 right now. I'll kick us off with this one since I rarely start. I normally go second. This one's tough because there's really, like, I feel like a lot of the close games we've picked this year have been, one team is like not as good as like they look to be. One team is like a lot better than they seem, but their record sucks. These are just two really good teams that have really good records. So it's like, what the hell do you do here? And I think the 2.5 is just like, I think Rams might get like 1.5 or a pick 'em on a neutral field, but there are two teams playing at the top of their game right now. No major injuries hindering either squad. Um, I didn't really want to take a total here because both defenses have been playing really well, especially Seattle's. The Rams lack or have a lot of talent on there, but can get a little feeble at times. I'm gonna go with the Rams because I've picked them 2 weeks in a row now, and they haven't really let me down. And when Stafford's in a rhythm and no one's hurt, and well, yeah, no one's hurt. You got Puka back now. It's kind of all go on offense for them. They're a really tough unit to stop, and they've gotten that run game going with Kyron Williams, which is huge for their success. You could just see it eye test wise. Their offense looks a shit ton better when Kyron's running into the end zone and getting a lot of yards per game. But it's no disrespect to the Seahawks here. This one I just think is like really close. Seahawks defense is obviously unreal, and they're on a huge heater right now. But I feel like they're kind of due for a tight one, possibly a loss.
I'll jump in. So both these teams are 7-2, like Sam mentioned. They're both also 7-2 against the spread this season, which makes them the two best teams against the spread in the NFL thus far. I do think that the Rams are a better football team just because I believe in that unit. They've proven it more than the Seahawks have. Seahawks are more new. But you got to hand it to them. Like their defense has played a lot better than I thought they were going to. And obviously Sam Darnold has beaten he just had one good year and a contract year allegations thus far. JSN leading the league in receiving yards. Have him on two of my three fantasy teams. Very happy about that selection. They just got Rashid Shaheed. Should have been Pittsburgh Steeler, but that just adds another weapon to that offense. This game is weird because like they haven't played yet, and both of these two teams are probably going to be high seeds. Obviously, they're in the same division, so they didn't change that rule in the offseason where one of them still got to be on the road in the playoffs, which is crazy. But I think they're both going to be competing till the very end for the division. And I think the Rams are going to come out on top simply because they're the home team. I think that you got to lean that way. I think they do have the better quarterback as well in this matchup. Currently, the MVP favorite, Matthew Stafford, at age 46, which is wild. But like Sam said, like it's good. It's a pick 'em pretty much. They're both good teams. I'm going to go with the Rams, and I'm also going to go with the over because two really good offenses. And then it's probably going to be a high scoring game. These NFC West matchups sometimes are a little shootout. So I'm going to go over in Rams.
Jake, welcome back to the show. What do you have to say?
Thank you, gentlemen. It's a great to be back. Great game. If we did a power rankings, I think you could actually argue these are numbers 1 and 2 in the league. I think you could argue that with how impressive they've been. Stafford is on pace for a prime Aaron Rodgers season. He's on pace for 48 touchdowns and like 4 or 5 interceptions, which his whole career he's been known as a gunslinger. He has to air it out all the time, and he occasionally turns the ball over. This year he's protecting the ball. Puka and Devontae are probably the best receiver duo in the league with respect to Chase and Higgins, who are making Joe Flacco look like a Hall of Famer, even though he's halfway to 80. But I remember when Baker Mayfield went up to Seattle and he torched the Seattle secondary. I think they are a little suspect, albeit great team, well-rounded ball club. And Sam Darnold, the Minnesota Vikings last year, as I remember, they played the Rams twice. They got beat both times, and he didn't play well in either game. One of them was a Thursday night game, and then the playoff game, he played very poorly. I think the Rams coaching staff, their defensive personnel might have his number, because he could have turned a new leaf, and now he could be elite, even though, like last year, I thought he was elite in the games that mattered. I still kind of have nightmares about those. But Rams home team. Did the Rams and the Chargers really have fans? Who knows? There might be some Seattle fans that fill into SoFi, but I do like the Rams to keep it rolling. I think that, as I mentioned with the power rankings, if I did my own power rankings, I would pick the Rams as my number one team in the league right now, just because I think they check the most boxes of any team, and I trust them. I trust them over every other team as far as coach and quarterback are humming, hitting on all cylinders right now. And I have the Ram. I didn't touch the total. Tommy's, encouraged me with that over, but I'm just going to go with the Rams -2.5 to win and cover.
The marriage between quarterback and coach is very important, as anyone's seen all year. Cam and Coby
Yeah,
together.
speaking of marriage, the two
Yeah,
guys in bed next to each
we're
other.
not we're not implying anything right now, but take it away, fellas.
Difficult setup over here, but I don't know who to pick in this game. I think, like you guys said, these are two very good teams. I want to hop on the JSN train. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's one of the best receivers in the game right now. It's hard not to put money on him and Sam Darnold, but I do think the obvious bet here is the over. That would be the most confident bet to me. I feel like both of the defenses are a little suspect in terms of they both allow probably 230 passing yards a game, if not more. So Devontae Adams, Puka, JSN, they got Shaheed over there in Seattle, so they're all probably going to have a over type of day. So any receiver receiving yards, I would go JSN obviously, but JSN's over, points over, total under or total over, and then yeah, that's the obvious bet to me.
I just want to jump in real quick and say that Cam texted his card earlier today, and it is nothing like what he just said. So I I got Seahawks -2.5, and then on to the Lions game from Cam earlier. So we'll adjust that in due time. But Kobe,
Really quick before you go, Cobe, I'll just throw this out there for anybody that wants to touch it. As far as touchdown scores go, Kyron Williams is plus money. JSN is plus money. Charbonnet and Kenny Walker are both plus money. So if anyone wants to spice it up with a TD as well, the fact that JSN's plus money is crazy, and both running backs. Like
Is Devontae Adams plus money?
oh yeah,
no, Puka and Devontae are both minus money, but
Crazy.
pretty much anybody on the Seattle offense is plus money if you want to take that. And I think they'll probably score one touchdown. So
all right, Kobe. What's the
All right. Let me tell you about what's going on in this game. I got the game script early this week. Let me just tell you what's going on. Great point that Jake mentioned before that I was going to bring up as well is we saw the Rams against Sam Darnold, specifically in that playoff game. They have a recipe against him. They sent a lot of pressure his way, made him make quick decisions, and it didn't work out in his favor last year. And I think they have like a similar roster. They have the recipe to beat Sam Darnold. I think it's going to work once again. Like you guys said, Rams look like the best team in the league right now. I talked about it last week, I believe. It was last week or 2 weeks ago, where I said Stafford quietly has one of a big MVP case building. And now it's a little bit more evident. You're hearing a little bit more noise about it. I just like to say I was saying that a couple weeks ago before everybody else was saying it. But yeah, he's put on a phenomenal season.
You also told us that the Patriots are going to be the number one seed in the AFC in the summer. Remember that?
So it looks like I know what the fuck I'm talking about, basically. But yeah, I think the Rams pull this game out. They look like the best team. Seahawks look really good too. But I don't think they're as good as the Rams. And I'm also taking the over. Tommy made a lot of good points about the over. You know, two of the best offenses in football. You saw it last week with the Seahawks. They were up 35-0, and it was like halfway through the second quarter. Their offense been good all year. Darnold is an MVP candidate. They got the running back duo. They, like Cam said, and when he glazed JSN for like 10 minutes, JSN is having a career year.
ATD. JSN anytime touchdown.
You think so?
Yeah, like low key.
Okay, we'll add that one too.
Yeah, I can throw it on Cam card. But yeah, both offenses are clicking on all cylinders. Like Tommy said, we've seen the Seahawks defense already give up a crazy game to Baker, and I think this is going to be another one of those two games. I think this is going to be another massive quarterback duel. We might see, a couple touchdowns from each quarterback. Like if I don't know what's plus money, but if they're 2 touchdown plus or whatever it is, I think I wouldn't say I would suggest that you take that. I don't think it is plus money probably, but they'll both probably throw at least 2. And yeah, I think the Rams take this, and I think this is about to be a shootout. You always take, Rams, Bills, Lions, and this year, like teams like the Seahawks, you always got to take those overs, and I think this is another over game. So Rams and over.
Yeah, and just for notice, like plus when we're talking plus and minus money, that only goes for our competition. And shout out Andrew Weiss, who somehow through 11 or 10 weeks of NFL football has managed to not pick 40% of the games correctly, and he sends like 9 picks a week. So
and the government is shut down, so he doesn't have anything else going on right now except picking games.
Apparently he's working.
It's almost just as hard to be that bad as it is to be like that good. So
fair.
If you've been fading Sandy, then you're making money. But
You're making a lot of money if you're fading him, and he's throwing a lot of bones out there too. But anywho,
Really quick, Sam. I
yeah,
know, sorry to do this to you. I'm gonna add Charbonnet touchdown to my card because they always give it to him in goal line situations, and
Mm.
feel like they'll probably have one rushing touchdown in this game. So
I'm
I can
liking
take.
I like how you put us all in the train of anytime touchdowns. And let's see if that continues. Might make an adjustment myself. Heading over to Philly, we're picking all four teams are actually coming off wins. The Lions just shit kicked the Commanders in their own barn this week, in front of a special audience, but we won't go into that. And they're visiting the Eagles, who are 2.5 point favorites coming off of a win against the Packers in Lambeau. And the Packers fucking blow right now. I just want to add that in there. Cam, you're back on the spot, and I'm really interested to see if you pick what you said you were picking earlier. Total's 47.5 too.
Um, after doing some research, I think I'm gonna take. I think I like the Lions a lot here. I think Philly is. I don't know what's going on in the locker room, but I don't think they have a good team chemistry as of right now. Their offense isn't clicking. Jalen Hurts is just not throwing the ball how he used to, just throwing shit up in the air and just hoping that it lands. Even the touchdown that they did get, it was like a Devontae Smith just blessing catch. So I don't think they should have scored that game. They definitely shouldn't have won that game. That game was terrible to watch in general. So I think that the Lions are just they're a better team. They got better team chemistry. Jameer Gibbs is playing out of his mind right now. Amon-Ra, David Montgomery. They got more of the I wouldn't say star power because obviously the Eagles have star power, but just team chemistry and momentum as of right now. So I would go Lions spread.
Cope, since you're in the room.
Yeah, I'll take it from here because at least one person on this bed knows ball. um, my favorite play out of this game is the over, so I'm going to start with the over. Obviously, this past week, that probably sounds crazy because Philadelphia just put up one of the shister classes of the year. So props to them because that was terrible. But before that, they scored 38-28. Lions defense is good, but it's not. I don't think it's built to stop a team like this. They're built to play like the gunslinger quarterbacks, but I don't know if their defense is built against run heavy teams. Obviously, there's seems to be some problems in the Eagles locker room. If you just saw AJ Brown on that stream talking about he wasn't happy and all that, but that's still an elite offense. You know, you still have the talent of Devontae Smith, AJ Brown, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts in a locker room. You never can count that offense out. And then the Lions have been a top offense all year. Jared Goff is putting on another fantastic season. They have weapons all around. You know, Jameer Gibbs is on my fantasy team for us, has been phenomenal this year. Just that whole offense has been clicking. Dan Campbell's calling plays now, I believe. So that's going to
For
be
now,
super
for now,
fun.
yeah.
For now, that's going to be fun to see what he calls up during the game. So I think the over is my favorite play of the game. I'm also going to take the Lions plus 2.5. I like what I've been seeing out of the Lions a lot more than the Eagles. The Lions started off a little slower than the Eagles did, but I really think that they've picked it up on both sides of the ball. And, people started to count them out early and be like, oh, maybe the Lions Super Bowl window is closed. I saw that a lot, but I still think that they have one of the best teams they've had in years. And I think that they're getting hot right now and they're going to continue to be hot. They're 3-2 in their last 5 games, but the 2 losses were tough games. It was Vikings, which was a crazy game, and then they lost to the Chiefs. But they handled the Commanders, they handled the Buccaneers, which is a tough game, and they handled Cincinnati pretty well. So I'm gonna take the Lions plus 2.5 in the over.
I'll go after you because I just two quick things to address. One, if there, I'll do that in a second. Actually, I loved the switch of Dan Campbell as like Macho Man. Looks like he just wants to smash the headset all the time, chewing gum frantically. Just a motivator. Doesn't look like he has any sort of like. He's just yelling at guys too. He has this Sean Payton-esque giant play sheet in front of him with his reading glasses on, just going full guru mode. That was pretty cool to see. And shout out him for actually like being a pretty good play caller. I didn't know he actually did call plays at the beginning of his tenure in Detroit a little bit before Ben Johnson took over. So that was cool to see. Shout out Dan. And going into my pick for this, if the Eagles didn't win the Super Bowl last year, they would be being treated like the Denver Broncos right now because holy fuck, is this one of the most unimpressive 7-2, 8-2 teams, whatever they are right now. Their defense played, I mean, both defenses Monday night played like championship level. As some of the announcers were saying, Fangio knows how to run that. They've got a lot of personnel on that defense. Jalen Hurts, dude, like you've got two of the best receivers in football in AJ Brown and Devontae Smith. And I don't even think it's a scheme thing. He can't get the ball to them. I mean, there was multiple instances where one of them's wide open and he's not making the throw, or he's just lollygagging it and pumping it up. And the touchdown that Hurts threw to Devontae Smith was, I think it was like 45 air yards or something. He put everything he had into it and still like he underthrew it. Just I think the infrastructure of that offensive line, the run game with Saquon, and the pure talent they have has carried them. And I think the Lions are going to be quite the test to that, considering they've gotten a pretty big groove going. A little hiccup in the road because they couldn't get the run game going against the Vikings. That was a tough loss, but they kind of showed last week. Yeah, it was a shitty defense they played, but they're fine. They'll be okay. I think the Eagles are bound to lose one. They're due to lose one. Lions are a good team. I think they're a little better than a 6-3 team. So I'm going to take the Lions. I've been staying away from totals. I'm going to go the over. I think the Eagles get trapped in games where they play to their competition. They'll play defensive games. They'll play offensive games. I don't think the Lions are going to allow this to be a defensive rock'em sock'em game, like a dirt fest. I think they're going to be wanting to score points. I think the Eagles are good enough to follow suit with that. So I'm going to go Lions in the over.
I have some information.
Mm.
When Sam texted me about this game, I misread the text and I thought the Lions were the home team. And I was getting +2.5 for the home team. The game is in Philadelphia. It's at night. It's going to be cold. I just went to check the temperature and the forecast. 75% chance of rain. Tommy, you know I don't really like tiny-handed quarterbacks, and Jared Goff playing outdoors in the cold weather, I don't like that. But Cam mentioned something about the Lions. They have better team chemistry, and that's what I'm leaning on here because I picked the Lions and I'm going to stick with them. The Eagles, I think, are a really good team. Imagine how great they'd be if they didn't all hate each other. I mean, like AJ Brown is the most miserable human I've ever seen. If you have me on fantasy, get me the heck off your team is what he said, right? It's like this guy's just miserable. And you know, Tommy, I've been the biggest Jalen Hurts critic of anybody on this show. I am actually extremely impressed with him for this year because 2 years ago they were doing the exact same thing when they would barely win. It looked ugly. They were just squeaking by. And he had close to 20 turnovers that year, I think. And this year, I think he only has one. He's taking care of the football. He does what he needs to do to win. This is the most impressed I've been with him since he won the MVP of the Super Bowl last year. But it looks like he just doesn't. I don't know if it's a coordinating issue or a coaching issue. It could be a coaching issue with Nick Sirianni going forward on that 4th and 6. That was the funniest coaching decision I've ever seen. And of course, it was a deep ball to AJ Brown. It's almost like Nick Sirianni is like, well, I haven't targeted him at all this half. I got to give him one, even though we should just punt the ball. And so he throws a go ball to AJ Brown for no reason, and it's not even close to being caught. I think they are due to lose one. And Saquon Barkley has he had one good game this year?
Not himself. Definitely not himself.
He's down on the yards per attempt. He's doing a lot more commercials. He does like the little Caesar's Pizza commercial. I see him. He's on my YouTube screen, my TV screen every time I go online, and he deserves that. He ran for 2,000 yards last year. Was one of the greatest years a back has ever had. I don't think they're right, and I'm gonna go with the Lions and the chemistry and the power of friendship with Dan Campbell calling plays. And I really hope that Jahmyr Gibbs has a huge game because if Jared Goff has to throw it a bunch in the rain and the cold weather, I'm really not confident in this pick. But give me the Lions +2.5.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Like, obviously, the vibes are definitely on the Lions side. You've got probably the best leader of men in football right now, Dan Campbell. And then obviously the skill position guys are all, happy and on the same page, and Sonic and Knuckles and all of that. I do think though that not everybody, but a lot of you being high on the over, I'm like surprised by that. We all saw what happened on Monday night. This Eagles offense being a part of an over is kind of surprising to me. I'm not going to take the under, but I am going to take a book out of the Sam Massaro playbook, take the first half under. Just because I think that this is going to be, at first at least, a little bit of a boring game. This is, by the way, my preview for the NFC Championship. I think that these teams are going to the Lions don't need to figure it out, but I think the Eagles will figure it out. And I think these are the two best teams in the NFC, even though we just finished talking about the Seahawks and the Rams. When it comes down to it, I think these are the two best ball clubs in the NFC. I've got some data. Dan Campbell is 10-0 in prime time as a favorite during the regular season. So, for what that's worth.
Well, he's not a favorite. He's an underdog.
Lions plus 2.5.
Yeah, so I don't know why Action Network is giving me that as a piece of data then. But yeah, so never mind. Disregard that. Full accountability. But
there you have it. There you have it, viewers. You can go to Action Network or you can come here.
Yeah, either way, I'm taking the Lions in this game. I'm taking the Lions. I'm taking the first half under. And I'll just throw this out there too, since I did it for the last game in terms of touchdown props. Jalen Hurts is plus money to score a touchdown. So if they get in tush push territory, he could get one. Amon-Ra is plus money to get a touchdown. AJ Brown and Devontae are both plus money to get a touchdown. I'm going to throw an Amon-Ra touchdown on my card, just because I think he'll get one. I can see that. I can envision that happening on Sunday Night Football. And I will say, this is a much more highly anticipated game. Like, I don't know why the Steelers were on Sunday Night Football 2 out of the last 3 weeks. And clearly we're not good in prime time. So stop doing that. But I'm excited for this game.
Yeah, I don't think Sam, sorry.
No, you go.
He just said that a Jalen Hurts touchdown's plus money. That made me realize I don't think, at least I haven't seen them score a tush push touchdown in weeks.
Yeah, it's been a long time.
Which is strange.
It's because I think it's related to Saquon not playing as well. Like, Saquon would get them down into, like inside the 5, and then they would just go tush push from there. But as someone who has Jalen Hurts on his fantasy team, they have not gotten a lot of tush push touchdowns. So
he only has 5 touchdowns on the ground this year, and 2 of them were in the Week 1 Cowboy game. So the tush push is being used in the middle of the field, really, not necessarily down by the goal line. But their offense has been strong. As the game on Monday night was kind of unwatchable. It was 0-0 with 5 minutes left in the third quarter.
It was bad. Also last year I felt like when he got however many tush push touchdowns, it felt like every game, like at least 3 drives, it was like almost on purpose where a dude would catch a deep ball at the 1-yard line, or Saquon would go down at the half-inch line or whatever. Before we run into locks and
wait, Sam. Sean's joining us.
I know.
Well, I was going to say, Sean can give us a live report of what the vibes are like there with the city of Philadelphia.
Oh, Sean's in Philadelphia. I forgot about that. Sean, how does Philadelphia look right now? Are we predicting an Eagles win, or the Lions are going to conquer this place?
Hey, y'all. Yeah, no, the vibes here are great. Just walking out of trivia night here at the bar, currently doing terrible. But no matter. The Eagles vibes are good, They're I think they're a little hesitant. But nonetheless, I think this will be a good matchup against the Packers. The Packers are kind of squeaking out wins,
Real quick, Sean. The Eagles and Packers played on Monday night.
Oh, yeah. The Eagles won.
So the Lions are coming on Sunday.
The Lions are coming, yes. And I picked the Lions.
Yeah.
Which was what I was going to get.
He was testing us.
Yes, I was teasing you guys. Little tease. Who'd the Lions just play? They just killed whoever they just played,
Washington. Right? Yeah.
Commanders.
Yeah. I'm going to take the Lions here. I think Jared Goff is rolling. Enough said about that. The first game, the Seahawks versus the Rams. I'm going to take the Rams. High-powered offense. Puka's back from injury. Kyren Williams is rolling. I'm also going to take a Cooper Kupp touchdown, little revenge game type of touchdown.
John, that's minus money, but if you want a JSN touchdown, that's plus
I'll
money.
give it to him.
How is that minus money? He's been dog shit the entire year.
Oh, you said Cooper Kupp or Devontae?
Yeah, Kupp.
I said Cooper Kupp.
Okay, no, yeah, I got them mixed up. No, he's plus money.
Yeah, I mean, I think he might have one touchdown the entire year.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think, I mean, he might have one catch and that might be the touchdown, but I think he'll have it. No data to back that. I think it's just purely revenge game style touchdown. They're gonna kind of target him a little bit more. Um, but
You got a lock for us?
my lock is the Rams, or no,
No.
the Bucks plus. I think it was 5.5. I've seen some books where it's +6, but you can fact check that, Sam.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
take.
saw 5.5, so I gave you that.
Okay. I'm gonna take the Bucks plus 5.5 over the
You know
uh,
it.
hold on. It's a good team. But
Starts with a B.
oh, it's Patriots.
I
No,
said start with a B.
B B.
B.
The Bucks played the Patriots last week. Again, Sean, you're living back to the future, buddy.
I am. I am. All right. The Bucks are playing the. It also starts with a B.
yeah,
Yeah.
think about wings.
It's not. It's not the Celtics. This is football.
Same division as Patriots.
Wings, like wings that you eat, not wings on a bird.
Chicken wings. What kind of sauce do you use on that?
Buffalo. Oh, they're playing Buffalo. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that
Um,
just shows your blanket fidelity towards the Bucks is that it doesn't matter who they play, they're gonna cover.
No,
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I made these bets sober, but the Bucks, I think what the sports books are getting at is that the Bills are not going to lose two straight. They're not going to fall to 6-4. Like that's un-Bill like per se, which I understand makes sense. I'm sure it's in Buffalo, which also would make more sense. I have no proof on that, but um, I
It
I
is
think.
Buffalo.
Yeah. I don't know. I think Baker, people have kind of been counting him out the last couple weeks. He's hasn't had the high powered stats he had the first 5-6 weeks of the season, but I think they'll definitely cover. I'm not saying they're gonna win, but I really like Sean Tucker and Rashad White in the backfield. But Bucky Irving is still out. And I think Godwin is still out. But Ibuka had a nice game last week, and I think their offense is still there. So for that reason, I'll take the Bills or the Bucks. I mean, the Bills just also lost a terrible loss to the Dolphins, who everyone like unanimously said they were the worst team in the league. So I get it's a divisional game, and that's probably the reason why they played him close and lost. But that was terrible. Like they killed him. So that's got to be a little demoralizing if you're a Bills fan. Um, so I understand the sports books. I think I'm talking in circles, but I understand the sports books why they're heavily favoring the Bills here. But I'm taking the Bucks regardless.
All right, well, thank you, Sean. Live from
Sean
trivia night.
Sean Sean like didn't know the team that the Bucks were playing, didn't know the team that we were picking in the second game, but then's like, but I really like the fourth string running back for the Bucks to have a good game.
Use that knowledge. And if you're one of the fellas watching this, don't let your girlfriend see that. Sean's got a great sweater on right now. He's getting festive.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Sean, say something so you can go back on the camera when you show us the sweater.
Well, I like you, Sam. I like you. It's the sweater from Knives Out, the one um what's the guy? Captain America,
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans wears, the one where he's in the diner, he's like sitting there, he's kind of like posted up, and he like reveals his giant plan to Ana de Armas. That's the sweater I got on right here. I don't know if any of you guys got that reference, but
Yeah,
that's
no, I know what you're talking about. And fun fact for the viewers, Sean has a Ana de Armas poster above his bed. So
I do. She's probably the most attractive girl in the world.
Fucking rights. I'm keeping all of this in.
Sydney Sweeney would like a word, my friend.
I don't know. I think it'll be a tough matchup between the two.
Listen, we'll ask the viewers to leave a comment on the YouTube channel.
Yeah.
After
Please
this,
do.
We'll start a heated debate.
There we go.
All right. Good talking, fellas. Sorry
Yeah.
about
Thank
the
you, Sean.
interruption,
Thanks
but
for
yeah,
coming.
I'll win this trivia night for you guys.
All right, hey.
Thank you, brother. Godspeed.
Dude, I did here real quick. I did trivia night one night and they were whipping out like, quotes like who said this, who said this. And like the final answer was a Ernest Hemingway quote. And literally everybody got it right. And the reason is because everybody halfway through the game quit and just started Googling the fucking answers.
Chicks love
Well,
her.
hopefully the next question in Sean's trivia night is not who are the Bucks playing this week. 'Cause it's just fun.
He's like, I really like them over the Packers. What was it? But anyway, we have best part of the show, Mortal Locks, and Coby has a special announcement / apology because he's been pumping his own tires for however long, and he got last week on the locks. So Cobe, take it away. Just tell the viewers you're sorry, and then give them something better this week.
Yeah, I would like to apologize. I lost. I'm 8-2 on locks now. I had 8 straight weeks of glory because I hadn't lost one since week 1. But last week I picked one of the worst locks of the season. Not as bad as Martin's Bengals versus was it the Bengals Bears under? But it was bad. It was the Eagles over. Obviously that game ended 10-7. I had a good run, but I'm still 8-2 on locks. I still went 4-1 last week, and my one miss was my lock. So I'm here to apologize and make it up to y'all with free money. This is the freest lock on the board this week. I'm glad I get to start it off. It is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus Bills over. I know Sean just kind of touched on that game. Well, he touched on that game if they were playing like 6 other teams in some sort of round robin, but I'm taking the over. Both teams are in dire need of big wins. I think this is going to be a shootout. The Bills, they're 2-3 over their last 5 games, and those 3 losses are the Patriots, the Falcons, and the Dolphins. 3 definitely winnable games. And a lot of them were embarrassing. They got blown out by the Falcons. They just got blown out by the Dolphins. And they need a bounce back game more than ever, but they're still the Buffalo Bills. They still did just beat the Chiefs 28-21. I still believe that offense, that's Josh Allen led offense. Nobody can stop that on any given Sunday. And that team is still a good team. Obviously, they haven't been as dominant as they have been in previous seasons, but that's still a good team, and that's still an elite offense. And I still trust them to put up big points against the Bucks defense, who we just saw struggle to contain the Patriots. And then the Bucks, from the Bucks case, Baker a couple weeks ago, MVP candidate. Now you don't even hear about him as MVP candidate. A couple weeks ago, Bucks were a Super Bowl favorite. Now you do not hear about them as a Super Bowl favorite. I still think, I know with all their injuries, like someone was saying, their injury report is longer than like their I don't even know, longer than their roster somehow. But I still think that team and that offense is good. I mean, they put up 23 against the Patriots. They've been playing pretty good. I believe they've been averaging around 23, 25 points a game over their last 5 games. Tez Johnson's been playing out of his mind. Like Sean mentioned randomly, that Sean Tucker and Rashad White have been playing pretty good football. And I think the Bucks really need a bounce back too. Like I said, they were favorites. Now they're kind of a struggling team. And I think both teams are going to be looking to make a statement this game. This is a massive win for either team. Honestly, this win is going to probably turn the tide for whichever team, because both teams are kind of struggling right now. Whichever team wins this will probably turn the tide for them to give them confidence and set them up. So this is going to be a big game. I believe it's going to be a shootout. Baker versus Josh, 2 of the game's best right now, an absolute duel. I believe the line is 48.5, if I'm not mistaken. Take it at 55 if you have to. Bills, Buccaneers over.
Cam, since you're right there.
I thought long and hard about this lock, and there's going to be some upset people in here. There's going to be some happy people in here. But I think I'm fully on the Bears train now, Sam.
Fuck yeah.
My lock of the week is Bears spread versus the Vikings. I think the Vikings are fraud. Jake is looking at Fernando Mendoza highlights right now, trying to get a new quarterback. not very fan like of Jake. So that should tell you the state of the Vikings as of right now. Um, Even if this game is close, I fully believe the Bears are somehow going to pull it off. They've been pulling miracles off for the past 3 to 4 weeks. So Bears spread down with the Vikings. Jake's looking for a new quarterback. It's all bad. So yeah,
I'm loving this. I'm loving every second of this.
I'm glancing at Fernando Mendoza highlights. I misspoke. I meant to say I'm gazing at them. I'm not fully watching them every single snap. Yeah, I will say that. Even that throw to the back of the end zone was oh, imagine if he was wearing purple when he did that.
I'll go next. I don't know if Sam's touching this game too. I'm not sure, but I am touching this game. I'm taking the over 48.5 in this game, Bears Vikings. These teams played week 1 Monday Night Football. I think we all were sitting we were all sat for that game watching.
What a great game that was. Let's bring that up and make Sam uncomfortable.
What a great 3 quarters that was.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, I mean, like that, yeah, like Caleb missed a couple throws in that game, no doubt. And the Bears offense is in a much better place now than it was then. And that game went over this total, 48.5. I believe 51 points were scored in that game. So the fact that the Bears offense is in a much better place now than it was then, and who knows what you're going to get with the Vikings. Some weeks they beat the Lions, and some weeks they're not a very good football club. But I think it's going to go over 48.5 regardless. I think there will be turnovers in this game. I think if there was a prop to have JJ throw a pick, that's free money, especially with how many turnovers the Bears defense creates. But I do think the points will be scored, and 48.5 is not a lot of points. Like, I feel like this could easily be a 35, 28, 27 game. So I'm going to go over 48.5. And this was a tough board. There wasn't a lot of games on this board that I love for locks. But I think that this one is solid. And I don't typically do totals for my locks, but I feel pretty good about this one.
Yeah,
I am not happy with my Vikings, but let me explain something to you. There's something to the Bears needing a missed tackle by the Bengals defense, who don't even really field a defense, and then they need to make a 10-point comeback again when Jackson Dart gets hurt and Daboll gets canned. Like, Cam, you sure you want to pick this team?
You're the same.
You're just sneaking by,
You're the same guy that berated me in a Chicago hotel room saying that you are what your record says you are. And now
you are.
Yeah.
I mean, the Bears are a young football team, and they keep finding ways to win. You can't really ask for much more than that in terms of setting a culture. I think it's like 4 of the last 5 games they've been losing going into the fourth quarter and have won. So that takes something to be able to do that and find a way.
This is a perfect segue into my lock. Sam just said you are what your record says you are, right? Is that what you just said, Samuel?
I said that's what you said to me.
Okay, so that's what I said. Well, you know what?
If the Bears win this week, it's totally true. If it's not, then it's a development process, okay?
Well, do you think it's true for the Denver Broncos? Because I don't.
No, God, no.
Let me tell you something. This offense is unwatchable. I don't think they can score 10 points this week. I really don't. And you have Andy Reid off a bye. I understand Mile High is a tough place to play, and their defense is legit. They are on pace, I think, to have the most sacks for a single season ever. I think it was the 85 Bears, which is the 85 freaking Bears, and they're on pace to pass that. But Bo Nix, it doesn't look like Sean Payton fully trusts him, which he shouldn't really, because Bo Nix is going to throw 2 or 3 passes a game that scratch your head and say, does he see that his teammates are wearing the same jersey as him? And the Chiefs if the playoffs started today, the Kansas City Chiefs, the 3-time defending AFC champs and the 5 out of 6 times Super Bowl appearances, they wouldn't be in the playoffs if the playoffs started today. This is as important of a game for them as they've had in the regular season in years. They need to, because if they lose this game, they're 5-5. You might have to actually look up and say, are they going to make it? Because they probably won't catch the Chargers. If they somehow lose to Denver and Denver's 9-2, it will take a collapse of epic proportions for Denver to fall out. And then the Colts look really good. Coby's Patriots look great. Someone's going to win the AFC North. The Chiefs off a bye have to go in there and win. I hate taking the spread's 3.5. I hate taking 3.5 point favorites because there's a field goal waiting to happen that'll screw that up. But I think the Chiefs win, call it like 27-13. I think that this is a pretty I think they win pretty convincingly, and that's my lock.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, and I'll finish this off because I have the same game, and it's fitting that I'm going last by the time everyone is either just sitting at their screen going, "What the fuck did I just watch?" or these guys don't have winners, which we do, obviously. I'm taking Chiefs Broncos under 45.5 because the Chiefs have been playing to their competition all year. They've had a couple games where they've kind of pulled away or just been better. But the Broncos have one goal in mind for these like big games right now, and it's to let their defense go to work. I know they've been in a couple shootouts with like Dallas and whatnot, but
Well, Dallas
um,
sucks.
yeah, let's be honest here. Bo Nix
Love
sucks.
you, Scott, but
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm going with the under here. This is like we were spoiled with, however, there was like 200 points scored in the 4 o'clock window on this last Sunday. This
We
is
weren't we
going.
weren't really spoiled though because they were all blowouts.
They
So it
were all
wasn't really.
blowouts, but yes, we saw a lot of points. This is post November. It's going to be dark. It's going to be cold, and you're going to be like, "Oh, this looks painful to play at." And it's going to be the game on Red Zone. You're like, "Oh, the Chiefs are playing. I'm going to watch that." And it's 9-3 after the second quarter, and you're like, "Why the hell am I watching this?" I don't see a way in hell this game goes over 45.5 unless we see some sort of random divisional afternoon classic. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be points scored. I think Bo Nix throws 2 picks. I think Mahomes gets sacked a couple times. I think Mahomes throws 2 picks. And I think we see the kickers have a little duel. Harrison Butker has missed like 44 extra points this year. Um, so yeah, that's my lock. And just one last piece of data to leave the viewers with is that Jake mentioned the 85 Bears that they were the Broncos are approaching their sack record. Funny, the sack record for a team was set by the 84 Bears.
oh,
70,
apologies.
72 sacks that year. And the 85 Bears had 64. The Broncos now, through 10 games of their season, have 46, which is a lot. And I think just shout out to I think one of the most underrated players, at least defensively in the league, Nick Bonito. Shout out him. Open invite to the pod. But thank you everyone for tuning along. Have fun watching Sean be drunk for 15 minutes and like and subscribe.